networking. Who's psyched about networking? All right, that's right. 24/7 networking, yes. How many of you are kind of on the side, you know? Like you can take it or leave it. It's not something you look forward to. Yeah? Yeah. How many of you absolutely hate it? Loathe it? Don't want to do it? Not at all. Okay, yeah, no, be honest, because, you know, I think networking has honestly had a bad rap. You've been to these ones, you know, where, you know, we walk in the room and we're either instantly sold to by somebody without our permission, or we're part of, you know, we go into a room and it's uncomfortable. You know, these are some of the things we associate with networking. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it is, we feel like we're being sold to. Sometimes it feels phony. It feels forced, right? These are some of the things that we think about when we think about networking. I remember my first time networking, and it was when I was thinking about going into business for myself. Okay, this is about 6 years ago. And it was a designated networking group, and I went there, and I was, you know, I was nervous. I'd never been to one before, wasn't sure what to expect. And it was at a printing place, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with the smell of a printing place. But let me say, it smelled kind of like formaldehyde, okay? It's that kind of acidic smell. And I walked in, and there was a woman there. She had a candle business, so she was kind of trying to mask the smell for everybody, because we're all like, oh, this is not pleasant. But we all sat down, and it was kind of like a group thing. There was about 8 or 9 of us, okay? And so we go around, and we're introducing ourselves. And the woman leading says, introduce yourself, say what you want for your business, you and your business. Okay. So it gets around to me, and I said, well, you know, I want to be a consultant. I want to go into this, and this is what I want to do. Okay, so we go back to the leader, and she says, all right, now who wants to buy a membership? Oh, are you kidding me? There was no interaction. How are we helping one another? What? I didn't help anybody in this room. They didn't help me. It was more just about telling what I wanted. And that, to me, is not networking, okay? That's not networking. Not understanding each other's business, how we can support one another. That's not what networking is about, okay? So I left, and I'm like, I hate networking. That is horrific. I'm not buying a membership, and I'm definitely not going to network again, because that just was not what I enjoyed, right? So at that time, I'm going to just share something with you. So that was my first introduction to networking. So me, I went in at that time because I thought, well, forget it, I'm not going to go into my business, or I'm just going to go back to work. And I went in and I asked for job share. And at that time, it was a woman, and she said to me, not only does this company not support job share, but we don't support part-time, anything like that. And now that we know the way you're thinking, don't even bother to come back. And this is a company that had put in a lot of years, worked a lot of hours. I was considered a workaholic, okay? So I left. And I went home and I thought, oh, I shed some tears. And I thought, I think I actually do have to continue down this road that I was thinking about. Because I wanted, for my son, I was at the 6-month maternity leave, you know. That's when we start to contemplate maybe having our own business, maybe not going back to the workforce full time. All those sorts of thoughts were going on in my head. So that's when I started to reconnect with my passion. I started to write. Okay, I have a journalism background, I never did anything with it. So I started writing, and I started connecting with other moms in the community. And I live in White Rock, BC. And so for those of you who are not familiar with White Rock, it's about an hour out of Vancouver. And so anyways, what I found is that through that, I realized there were so many other women who wanted to do the same thing. They were looking to be either closer to home, more in control of their hours, right? And so I thought, you know, there should be some sort of workshops and ways we can all get together and share our struggles and identify and learn how we go into business for ourselves. So that's what I started to do. I started to put on workshops in conjunction with Women's Enterprise Center, and they're here today downstairs at the trade show. Highly recommend you go talk to them. If you're in business, looking to grow your business, they're phenomenal. Anyway, so I did that. Those grew from 8 women in a room to eventually inspirational luncheons. So those became 80 to 100 women. And then in 2007, I had our first big event that celebrated moms in business, so mom entrepreneurs in Vancouver. And it was fantastic. And what I found was all these women would walk out and they'd say, this is fantastic, this is fabulous, I've got so much of my business and this and that, and I said, these women are networking and they're not even aware of it. Okay, we created this thing, but nobody was aware it was networking, right? But I realized there needed to be that ongoing support and so Enterprising Moms Network was born. I had planned to take the summer off, I didn't. I wrote a business plan and put it all together over the summer, and in the fall of 2007, launched Enterprising Moms. And what we do is we provide ongoing support and education for mom entrepreneurs through monthly business meetings. So we bring in a speaker for the first part of the meeting, a business, whether it's talking on a business topic, or else we are talking on a mom topic, okay? And it's open to every woman. I mean, it's just that we specifically also talk about being a mom, right? And it was in White Rock we launched, and we now have 8 chapters, soon to be 9, across BC and Ontario. And one of the things that has been the successful part of what we do is the breakout groups that we do in the second half. Okay, and this is where it comes into my bad experience of networking, was I wanted to have that ability to help one another right then and there. And so in the breakout groups, we express a business problem or issue we've struggled with during the month, and then we all pull together to come up with some answers. More heads are better than one. Let's come up and help this woman, support her, get to know her in those smaller groups. And so now, you haven't just passed out your business card. You understand that person's struggles, you understand how you connect, and you might now be working together on some project or to grow each other's businesses. And that, to me, is true networking, okay? And as women, we are really good at that, okay? I think men have to be a little bit more educated about sharing and supporting. But anyways, that's another story. But, so why do we network? Okay, we network to grow our business, right? We want to make those connections. We want to grow our business so that either in size or to be more successful. So we make those connections with other people who are going to be able to help us, right? We might need something when we go to a networking event, whether it is maybe we're looking for a graphic designer. Maybe we're looking to hire our first employee, right? We go to these networking events hoping that we might be able to make that connection with somebody who might either be that person or can put us in touch with somebody who can help us, right? And the last one is very important, and I'm going to talk about this a lot, is be there to help others, okay? Be a resource. So always have your ears open to somebody else when they're talking, way that you can help them. Either as a customer, either as somebody who you know, who want to use this person's services or buy their product, right? Because it not only, it might not come, if you're helping this person right away, what that does is it helps you in the long run, not only on yourself, because now you are somebody's resource, but it's going to help your business. You're going to become known as the person who's able to help other people, and that's really what you want, right? So where should you network? Okay, now I've got here networking events like the one in Cheese, which you should be going to afterwards. Work functions, obviously, so anywhere your company, whether it's your company or you're employed with, parties, and I've got here on the playground. Now, of course, unless you don't have children, then it's just kind of creepy that you're there. but what my point is you're always networking. Okay? Whether in your mind you think networking is you have to be in a certain environment to network, network can be in a grocery store lineup. You could be talking to somebody and all of a sudden you realize that person lives down the road or that person has a similar type of business than you, and you've made a connection. Okay? I'll give you an example. Last night on an airplane, I was coming from Vancouver and I was sitting on the D. I was sitting on the very end aisle. And I was hoping for the window, but anyways, I was sitting on the end, and there was a woman just in front of me here, and she was open. Let me talk about body language too, but she was open, she was smiling, looking around, and I kind of, tapped her on the shoulder and I said, oh, have you been to Prince George before? And she said, oh, well, yes, I have. She said, I used to live there, and I'm just coming back because I want to see some of my old high school friends, and I haven't done this for a while, and so we were kind of talking, and she said, well, do you know this high school? And I said, oh, actually, I've